Dom DeMarco.
What up, guys? Welcome to the wait. Welcome to It's Complicated. Today I have overtaken the channel and we are in Las Vegas, and we are going to be asking people different questions about relationships. So buckle up, guys, and like the video on your way in, leave a comment, and let's get started.
Do you know more people who enjoy dating or who complain about dating?
I feel like most people complain about dating
Why do you think that is?
because they're not happy in their relationships.
Now, if there was one thing that you wish that men understood better about women, what would it be?
How to be more catering because I'm tired of giving.
What do you mean? You said catering?
Yes, because I give more than I receive.
So would you say that reciprocity is key in relationships?
Yes.
Now, do you feel like, who do you think typically invests more into building a relationship, the man or the woman?
The woman, of course.
Well, like what exactly does a woman do to kind of build a relationship as opposed to what a man does?
Well, I feel like we're more supportive, first off, and we're going to do more because we want to see you succeed more. And I feel like most men aren't doing that.
You lie!
I mean, I grew up with this all the time. It's about like the guy doesn't treat me well. He's not nice enough. He's not holding the door for me. And I've also been that guy who's done all of that. And you are overlooked, overshadowed easily by the guy
Damn,
who's like
son,
shit and is
where'd
an
you
absolute
find
douchebag.
this?
So
Well, see, when I think of like traditional, it's like the guy picking you up, taking you out to dinner, holding the doors, paying for the date, and waiting for sex.
I mean, yeah, I think that all though that lies on the woman though. Like that's the power the woman has.
and they'll put this ideal up on a pedestal of what a man should be and what they want, and then what they actually go seek out is the entire opposite. And as someone who, there's a lot of men out there who just have a good heart and just want to be heard and really appreciated for that. And a lot of times you don't feel like you can show that, because once you show that compassion, once you show your true colors, it's looked at as a weakness.
You know, I feel men have to be the providers. Men have to basically give up their entire lives to please a woman. When men, we're only worth what we can provide. Women are worth just for their looks or for basic things. But we need to provide everything in a relationship or in any aspect of life.
Mm-hmm. And even if you're able to, attract a woman, are you able to keep her happy, keep her satisfied?
Unless you can meet her list, no.
So you think that women are really more interested in the situation than they are in the actual man?
Yeah, I do.
Then why do women divorce men 70 to 80% of the time, 90% if they're college educated?
I don't know. I just heard that one too.
If women have more unconditional love, doesn't it seem like then men would?
Well, from what I've seen that, and it usually I've seen that most of the divorces are instigated by women. They said that men are, I don't really know the answer to that. I know on the other side, men are just more willing to stick something out and just work at it, even though they're unhappy.
And if a man typically has to have looks, money, and status in order to attract lots of beautiful women, how is the man not considered the prize?
Because a man loves a woman.
Doesn't a woman love a man?
A woman does love a man, but a woman loves money more.
So do you think women are more interested in love or power?
Power.
Power of the punani.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
The power it's the power that a woman has naturally, like her superpower. Basically, that's what grabs a man. That's what makes a man want you to begin with. He doesn't even know you. It's just you're a woman.
And what's the difference between using power and abusing power?
Using it is basically just utilizing it for its purpose. Abusing it is
This is Wix.
making using it for your advantage, but it's going to be at a disadvantage for that other person.
So when it comes to the power of the punani, do you think that women are more likely to use or abuse that power?
In general, they probably abuse it.
So why isn't that given more attention?
Because men are not really going to complain about it. It's you just chalk it up. That's just part of the game. Like, you get played sometimes.
It's very rare that I've ever felt that I can open up to a woman, because usually once you do, it kind of comes off as red flags. It comes off as needy. Oh, he's the nice guy. Those kind of aspects. And they want someone to take charge. They want someone who's got their shit together. And it's almost like it's always convoluted, and the message is never on par. It's you're asking for this, you're getting that, and there's no middle ground. And it's very easy for women to kind of move on from a man if you're not meeting those attributes.
So if women became more aware of these double standards and men's issues, how much do you think would actually change?
I would hope more. I can't say for sure. I mean, I've had these discussions prior, and it seems to get heated, and women go, "You don't know what you're talking about," so you kind of brush it aside and try and find a way around it. But
I mean, have you found certain women who are more receptive to these issues than other women?
yes, absolutely. I've got some great friends who are very empathetic, very compassionate, and I think the world of them. But as a whole, most men don't get to experience that, and they aren't treated that way by the majority of women.
Now, what are your thoughts on the expression, women don't care about a man's struggles, they just want to show up at the finish line and pick the winners?
I honestly, you said women don't care about a man's struggles?
Basically, modern women today don't care about a man's struggles, they just want to show up at the finish line and pick the
Oh, I
winners.
think that's true, because someone like me, I'm going to be there for you and support you, but these new age girls, I don't know about them. They are just ridiculous, and I feel like they're only in it to get what they can get out of it.
So why do you think there's the expression, where have all the good men gone, but nobody's asking where have all the good women gone?
Well, where have all the good men gone? All the good men gone? They're stupid because they're dating these younger women and they're getting used. So the reason why there's so many good women out here is because we're being looked over.
Would you think that when they say that, like, the answer to where have all the good men gone is in your 20s? Like, where it's like an expression where women would look over the good men in their 20s and, like, pick the bad boys, and then in their 30s they're like, oh, well, take me now. But it's like they're kind of salty because we overlooked them in our 20s.
So yeah, we do overlook them in our 20s, and I can say we overlook them in our 30s because I've been stuck with some bad men in the 30s, and technically I feel like now it's kind of like there are really no good men. I haven't found a good guy.
Oh,
so
really?
We do overlook it.
Now, has there ever been a man you wanted that you weren't able to get?
Well, I'd like to talk about Bruno Mars. I do want him, and if he met me, he'd want me too.
Hey, now, if you had the opportunity to hook up with Bruno Mars, would you take it?
I sure would.
So when a woman says that I'm not that type of girl, isn't she really saying I'm not that type of girl with you, but I am that type of girl with a guy like Bruno Mars?
No, because I'm going to be myself with him regardless of who he is. So if he's going to like me for who I am, then he's going to see that I'm a good woman regardless of anything.
Do you think it's true that women will make rules for the wrong guy but break rules for the right guy?
I do. I do believe that.
I think so too.
Well, I mean, sometimes we like the bad boys, so we tend to break the rules for them.
Do you think that women tend to lust after bad boys but want to settle down with nice guys?
Oh, we sure do. I love a bad boy.
What's attractive about a bad boy?
They just have that quality that just is so attractive. You know?
How do bad boys treat women?
Horrible.
So then why would you want to be with a bad boy when they treat you badly?
Because they do other things that the good ones don't.
Like what?
I don't want to go there.
We know.
They do.
Why do you think women don't pick the nice guys?
I mean, it's more of a thrill, I would imagine. I mean, I get it that, and I understand to some degree that, like, a guy who's very indecisive and, you want someone who can kind of show that take charge mentality. So if you're indecisive, like, I don't know, where should we go out? Like, I get that gets frustrating, but you also have to understand if you're asking for the guy who really listens to you, he wants to know your opinion. That's actually what he's saying. He says, I want to listen to you. I want to hear what you're saying. I want to appreciate what you want out of this relationship, and I'll then take action. But women kind of more so I want you to just make the decision, tell me what to do, and then go with it and run with it from there. And so it's kind of like miscommunicated signals where they're asking for one thing and getting another, but even when they get it, they're not quite pleased with it. And yeah, to put it simply, it's a bit of a clusterfuck.
Do you think that men are assholes because women date assholes?
Yeah.
So then do you think women have the right to complain when they're enabling that behavior?
No. And like speaking truthfully, like I think back to one of my earliest girlfriends where I was definitely too much of a nice guy and I got walked all over. And like speaking truthfully, like I think back to one of my earliest girlfriends where I was definitely too much of a nice guy and I got walked all over. And I can tell you from experience, I changed my behavior to be more of an asshole simply for that point, in that I was like, I don't want this to happen again.
It's like men and women are different. It's okay because the world doesn't care if you do what's easy. It's easy for us to get sex. It's hard for men to get sex. So it's like if you do the easy thing, everyone's like, okay. Yeah.
She know what I'm trying to say.
Who do you think is more likely to be able to have sex without feelings, men or women?
Men.
Well, if it's not,
That's hard because it's just like some females, they be out here, they can just have sex with a man for money and they just be that. And a man could just, he could like what he just like what he see.
well, I mean, if it's not women, why do the majority of sex workers happen to be women?
Would you say that bad boys, do you look at them as more of protectors?
They are protectors. I do feel like, I found more security in the bad ones, but I also feel like I got used by more of the bad ones than I did being protected. So,
Speaking of being a protector, if women expect men to pay for sex, why don't men expect women to pay for bodyguards?
Would more effective writing give you an edge at work? Grammarly can make your job one click simpler.
Used by more of the bad ones than I did being protected. So,
Speaking of being a protector, if women expect men to pay for sex, why don't men expect women to pay for bodyguards? Why do women often describe men as stupid, but then expect love from them in return?
why do we describe them as stupid? Because we've been through a lot of stuff.
But isn't it fair to say a lot of men have been through a lot of stuff as well?
They have, but I feel like, sometimes you get a good woman and you treat her like shit, and then you expect us to not call you stupid when you do us dirty, and then we're standing there looking stupid, but yet you are the stupid ones, because guess what? They always come back, and I can say that.
Stop the cap.
That for prime example, every one of them have come back.
Do you think that don't you think that's just like batting out of your league though? Like you get shit treatment because you're shooting too high?
I don't think I'm shooting too high.
I don't know you, but just like in general, like if you're, if you're shooting too high, like they don't treat you right. You know what I mean? Because that's a guy that's got a lot of options.
And are we talking about the bad boys?
Yeah, like usually bad boys have a lot of options.
They may have a lot of options, but they don't have a lot of good ones. And I'm a good one, so therefore I'm going to always aim high, because guess what? The quality is always going to be there. So, I mean...
Stop the cap.
If you lose out, then you're the one who's stupid.
Wouldn't you say if you're a good one, like someone would have picked you?
I can say if I was a good one, they would have picked me, but still, we always get overlooked, because sometimes being good doesn't always mean that they want a good girl. They want somebody that's a bad girl.
Stop the cap.
And when you're too good to someone, then they feel like, that's not what they want.
You feel like they take advantage.
They do take advantage.
Nowadays is the woman expects that you are going to fill these roles, and if you're not, she's kind of going to overtake those roles, and the men get belittled. They feel lower self-esteem. They're not as high valued as they want to be, and it's kind of a juggling act. So
A man has two women. He lies to one. He tells the truth to the other. Which one does he love?
That's a tough one. Usually it's the one he's lying to.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, and it's harder to be just bluntly honest with a woman because you never know what her reaction is going to be. So if you're being bluntly honest with her, then you either respect her 100% or you don't really care how she's going to feel.
Do you think women often want what they can't have?
Yes.
So then wouldn't you say that chasing women is terrible advice for men?
Chasing women is terrible.
Because if he chases you, then he's basically telling you can have me, and he's no longer a challenge.
I like a chase because I always got my running shoes on. So yeah, I do like a chase.
Do you think that men prefer the chase or the catch?
They prefer the chase because when you're easy to catch, they don't want you after they got you.
Stop the cap.
So do you think women prefer men who like the chase?
I do. I love a good chase. As I said, I always got them running shoes on.
But wouldn't you say that men who prefer the chase are less likely to be loyal because they will continue chasing?
Yes. Very true because, well, once they actually get you, then they don't want you anymore, so. Which sucks, though, but unless you get a good guy who actually likes a woman that kind of holds out and she's good quality, then the chase was worth it.
But we don't like the good guys. And you said before, like, you make rules for them. Right? So if you're making a guy wait, you probably don't like him that much. Because for Bruno Mars, you're down tomorrow, right?
Most likely. And it might be 15 minutes in. Might be 15 minutes in with Bruno now.
How long would he really have to talk to you?
Bruno?
Yeah, like, if he said, I want sex, like, would you...
If Bruno started singing Versace on the floor, everything would happen. I'd be butt naked before he got to the first verse. He wouldn't even have the first V out.
Can I tell you an interesting stat that I think most women don't know? You know, 1 in 3 men under 30 are either virgins or haven't had sex in the past year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So a lot of times, like, we'll complain about guys cheating, but we pick the cheaters. Because there's a lot of guys that won't cheat on you, we just don't like them.
I honestly did not know that, and that's a good fact to know.
Would you believe it? Like, does that make sense with what you've seen?
I believe it, but I still end up with a cheater.
I think we like guys that cheat.
Not having sex is somewhere where I don't see, because I'm going with the bad boys. So yes.
So would you say that a lot of women are more attracted to like toxic men?
Yeah, I think they are.
So why do women complain about, toxic masculinity when a lot of women are enabling that behavior by choosing to date bad boys and toxic men?
I think it stems from our childhood. Sometimes we have somebody in our life that is a toxic person because we've seen it happen to someone else in our family. So then we kind of follow in the footstep of that.
How do you know when the honeymoon stage of a relationship is over?
Some of the weird shit starts to matter. Like,
That's the truest thing I've ever heard. But to the girl, right?
yeah, definitely. Usually it matters a lot.
Relationship is over.
Some of the weird shit starts to matter. Like,
But to the girl, right?
yeah, definitely. Usually it matters a lot.
You start like,
Yeah.
the girl starts saying what's annoying her.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so for instance, you might see your girl in the kitchen, you walk by, you slap her butt, all right? So in the first couple of months, that's fine. It's like, ooh, babe, that's whatever. And then you do it again for like another 2 months. So that's like 5 months in. And then like another 2 months in, she's like, can you stop doing that? So, that's just one of the...
Has that happened to you?
Yeah. Yeah, it has. But hey, it's all good, At least you learn from it, so it's good.
What up, guys? I am taking over It's Complicated channel today. I figured since I am in Vegas, everyone's plastic here, so I'm just gonna do it too.
Why is it that a man can marry a woman and make her queen, but a queen can't marry a man and make him king?
I wouldn't say that's not true. I feel like everybody's a queen and everybody's a king from birth.
Well, if everyone was a king or a queen, why would a king or queen be special?
Everybody's special. You're special on your own. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do
cap.
anything you want to do. You are a queen. You are a king from birth. That is how God made us. God put us in this world to be great.
Come on, everyone can't be special. Everyone cannot be special.
Let me tell you something. Everybody is
Stop the
special.
cap.
It's in you to dig deep and find it. Some people don't dig deep in their time that they have in life to get there. I feel like everybody's born to be special. You just have to figure out what's special about you. You get what I'm saying?
No, I feel like some people.
Because I'm special doesn't mean you're not special.
No, I think sometimes people are average. I think most.
Why does my light dim yours?
Because if everyone's special, then no one's special.
It's not true.
Yeah, because if you're special, you have to be different than other people.
Imagine what would happen if every person in the United States suddenly visited your website. Would it crash?
Otherwise, you're just average.
But everybody's special in their way. I'm not saying that everybody's the same. I say everybody's special in their way. Just because, okay, you're special, you like, I don't know what you like. You might like rock, you might like this. I'm special. I like totally different things. That doesn't make me less special.
Yeah, but then there's still a million other people that have the same.
Like their own things too. All of us don't like the same combination of things. It's kind of like a combination lock. We don't have the same combination.
I think it's like narcissistic to think you're like special. Like I feel like that's narcissistic.
No, you should feel like you're special.
Women tend to overvalue themselves while men tend to undervalue themselves.
Because, okay, so.
Damn, son, where'd
as
you
men,
find this?
When we grow up, we have friends that, you know, tease us and bully us. Like, oh man, your nose is big as hell. You know, like they tell us these things that, you know, to women it might sound demeaning, but to us, they're giving us a reality check. So from a young age, we grew up getting reality checks constantly in a joking manner. You know, your friends are going to joke with you and tease you. And I think on the other hand, women, they get more praises as they grow up. So they grow up all this time through, you know, teenage years into adulthood. And then you wonder now when somebody actually tell you like, hey, your nose is kind of big. And you're like, I haven't been told that my whole life. Well, they're being lying to
Do you think that men tend to insult each other and not mean it, while women tend to compliment each other and not mean it?
100%. That pretty much is what I was saying. Like, you summed it up. That's pretty much it. Men insult each other, and it's more of a endearment. Like, man, you ugly as hell, boy. You can't talk to me. Whereas a girl tells like, oh, girl, you look good, and then like, no, she doesn't. Like, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you summed it up pretty good.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I call women whales, and even if it's true, they get mad.
That's their problem. Go to the gym.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I feel like you should feel like you're beautiful. You should feel like you're that girl. You're that guy. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Him. He can do it.
Is he are you special, sir?
Where the lies end.
Because a man has to work for his worth. A woman is born with her worth.
Where did you learn that?
Damn,
Just
son, where'd you
watching
find
different
this?
people talk, different podcasts. I don't know if you familiar with the Fresh and Fit podcast, but
Shout out Fresh and Fit.
Shout out Fresh and Fit. They talk about all that on there, and it's just, it opens the mind up because it's what's happening. Like, females can take advantage of their bodies and just off of how they look and just take it off. And a man can't do that. You know what I mean?
I mean, for me, like, I've always identified myself in the sense of like what a feminist is in terms of I believe in equality. I want the same equal rights for everyone. But I kind of stumbled upon your videos. It really kind of opened my eyes to like this, you know, all the things I've kind of been told about like women need to be pumped up. They need all this extra stuff. And it kind of peeled back that onion a bit. And I was like, I kind of want to dive into this a bit more. It kind of opened my eyes to a new light of that. So that's more what kind of gravitated me to your stream was more. It opened my eyes in a way where I was like, I feel like I've been lied to a little bit.
Oh, you feel like you've been lied to?
Yeah, well, it's just because you go out and you're a man and it's you've got it so easy. You don't have to deal with this. You don't have to deal with that. And a lot of women don't realize what, especially like single men, like if you're a really attractive guy, you've got every girl hitting on you. It's really great. But, you know, the average guy spends a lot of time by himself, dealing with problems himself. And until he gets to that point of I'm successful, you know, especially if you're not a guy who's like, what's that quote? It's 6 figures, 6 foot and 6 inches, all that kind of stuff. It's, it's almost belittling as that double standard, and I really don't like it. So I've really identified with a lot of the points you make, and it's really helped me find a voice for things I couldn't really put into words prior.
They technically, for the most part, have the power in the relationship.
So why do you think women want equality in everything except for dating?
I think that goes back to like they just don't want people to tell them what to do. Like they just want control.
Do you think it's more about control and power than equality?
You know what? I think it is because a lot of the things that are when they're equal, it's like, okay, well now we can both do this. We can both lift these boxes, and it's like, nah, I don't want to lift these boxes. You go lift these boxes. You know? It's very conditional. It's about what they want at that time.
A lot of the questions that I ask on my channel are often met with responses like it goes both ways. If it does go both ways, why do you think that women dominate the mainstream media when it comes to talking about women's issues while men's content is forced to remain online?
I don't feel like it's equal at all because women are more subjective to their feelings and other women are more subjective to their feelings, you know what I mean? And so it's just like a woman is going to feel bad for another woman, but a man is supposed to go through hard times and go through the struggle to make his success, you know what I mean?
I was just going to say that that's one thing that I don't understand because we really do not pay attention to men's mental health and things that they go through. We always worry about women, but men definitely go through it too. I know it's not easy for a woman, but it's definitely not easy for a man as well. So I feel like it should be equally, you know.
But it's just like that's the thing.
Stop
like,
the cap.
even though me and you treat it like that, a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of people don't see it as equal because especially a lot of females feel like a man should prioritize their woman first before anything, and a man is supposed to be the front line of defense. Like, if a man, like a woman's supposed to, like a woman, all right, a woman looks for a traditional man, right, without being a traditional woman, and a woman is so quick to say something about what a man is supposed to do and what a man is not supposed to do, but what is a woman supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, why do you think that women enjoy all the things that are traditional when it comes to dating and courtship, but then a lot of old-fashioned values women often label to be sexist?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because some people just want their cake and eat it too, and that's the problem.
Do you think that women are more likely to have their cake and eat it too, or men are?
As human beings, we're programmed like that. So if you give me the opportunity to have cake and eat it, I'm gonna eat it.
Can you name any double standards in relationships that benefit men?
Introducing the GMC Sierra EV Denali Edition 1 with the capability you expect from a G.
Not much. I mean, I'm probably not gonna be able to think of any right now, but I know there's probably some.
I could tell you one. The sleeping around. I'd say that's a double standard. But outside of that, I've done the show for months. That's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, I think that's one, right? But that usually comes from some type of displeasure in the relationship. I think if you're genuinely happy and content, you're not gonna step out. I think when you step out is because there's something lacking.
Yeah, I think so too. And a lot of times, like, girls don't sleep with the guys they're dating or their husband. 1 in 4 marriages are sexless. So it's like, do you think that men should be blamed for cheating if she's not sleeping with him?
If you're not giving your husband or partner sex, which is a major part, and I know some people say, "Oh, sex is not that big of a deal." Bullshit. Kick the rocks. If you're not giving it and you're using it as a weapon, then I don't think you should then be upset or disappointed when that person steps out. It's like if I have a child and I'm not feeding my child or I'm not nurturing him and taking care of him, if he goes to the neighbor and the neighbor is cooking him meals, as a parent, yeah, I'm going to be upset, but logically I shouldn't be because I'm not doing my responsibility.
Do you guys think women in general care about men's problems?
At face value, yes. In reality, no.
I would say absolutely no.
So why do you think that our society labels women to be more nurturing if they're really not empathetic to men's issues?
That's interesting. That's a good way of putting that. I'm not well versed on this stuff. Sorry.
Men don't believe in mental health. You could tell a man like, "Hey, your mental is not right. Go get your mental together," and they would be like, "Oh, I'm okay." Like it's like they don't want to even speak on that or think that nothing's wrong. When it's like now where we are, it's like that mental health is a big thing. Like if you're not right, you're just not right. You can't be right. If you're not right for yourself, you can't be right for you. No one else. Your girlfriend, your child, your wife, nothing. If you're not right, you're not right for no one.
I want to give you guys an observation that I have from months of interviewing, right? I have this theory that women only care about men's problems when they benefit women. And for example, you said if your mental health's not right, you're not good to everyone. And I feel like women only care about men's mental health because it affects us, but we don't care about things like male suicide. I never hear male homelessness, males being the majority of workplace deaths. I never hear people talk about that, but it's always men's mental health.
Most people are oblivious to this stuff. We know unless you're, like you said, the 6'6" and 6, nobody looks at you. Nobody pays any attention to you. Most men are out here alone. 99% of the time we deal with our problems alone. Everything you do it alone versus any woman anywhere at any time, no matter what they look like, how they're shaped, how their size, how whatever. They can get a man at any point that they want to. And most of us men deal with life alone at a lot of points, and we're expected to provide. We're expected to do this, and that. And if we don't, we're almost worthless.
Why do you think that women tend to make lists of what they want in a relationship rather than what they bring to the table?
Because they're unable to look inside and understand who they actually are. And yeah, I don't know, that's a great question, but...
And one more thing, was there ever a time where you struggled in dating, struggled with women?
Yeah, I used to be a little bit more selfless. I used to think of the other person quite a bit. I mean, I still think of the other person now, but I have a little bit more respect for myself, and I understand that back then the way I operated probably was never going to give me the relationship that I wanted, because I would have been, subservient to that person, always making sure that their feelings is considered and doing anything above and beyond for them. And a lot of times when we try to please people, the only person that ends up, hurt is you in the end. So now I'm a little bit more of a strict person. If I tell you I'm going to be downstairs at 7:05, you're not there, I'm leaving. Because I respect my time, respect myself, and you got to do the same for me as I would do for you. So.
In the desert sand where we would lay. In the desert sun I burned my face. You deserted me but you left the pain. When the sky turns into red, I'll be out here on my own. Don't forget I once called your heart my home. If the wind should ever change, who's to say that you will still be the same? But neither will I. In the desert where I saw you smile,